The next one's when we are dividing with decimals and our divisor is not a whole number, the first thing we need to do is change it into a whole number. So if I have 89.9 divided by 5.8, I'm going to move my decimal over one place here so that I have a nice whole number. If I do that, I also have to move it one place here. I have to move it the same number of places on both numbers. So what I'm going to do is take 899 divided by 58 then. 58, 899, the decimal point is behind that 9. And then I'm going to say, okay, 58 doesn't go into 8, but 58 will go into 89. One time. I get 58 and I subtract, and so I get 31. And then I bring that 9 down. So I'm going to take 58 into 319. Now when you're thinking about this, estimate. Take those front numbers and divide it by this front number. 5 doesn't go into 3, but 5 goes into 31 about 6 times. So I know it's going to be somewhere around 6. 6 is too big, I try 5, and so forth. Instead of trying to find the answer right away, that's what I do, is I just estimate. Well, 5 goes in there 6 times. Let's see if 6 works. 6 times 8, 48. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 4. Whoops, it's too big. So that means it's probably not 6. I probably have to go down to 5, right? 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 4, 29. But that's a quick way to get close to where you know it has to be. And then when I subtract, I get 29, right? Now when I'm working with decimals, if I don't get 0, I'm going to add a 0 and keep going and going and going and going unless it tells me to round. In this case, we know that 58 goes into 290 5 times, because we just got that on the previous one, right? Now my remainder is 0, and so my answer is going to be 15.5. So on number 5, if I want to divide 9.86 by 0.85, 85 hundredths, on this one, to make this a whole number, I end up having to move my decimal 2 places over, right? 2 places here, 2 places here. It doesn't always end up that this turns into a whole number, but evidently on this one, it is again. So I'm going to divide 85 into 986, and that decimal is going to be right behind the 6. So 85 goes into 98. It's just one time, all right. 1 times 85 is 85. When I subtract, I get 13, and I bring down my 6. 85 into 136. One time. 1 times 85 is 85, and then when I subtract, I get 51. By the way, if my remainder would be bigger than my divisor, I know I needed the next bigger number, but it's smaller than my divisor. I have to keep going, so I'm going to add my 0. 8, how many times? 6 times. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 8 is 48, 49, 50, 51. Hey, we get a remainder of 0, and so we know our answer, 11.6. So go ahead and do number 6 there on your paper. Oh, there's one that doesn't turn out to a nice whole number. I have to make the divisor a nice whole number, which means I'm only going to move my decimal one place. So 38 into 6.65 is what I'm going to end up doing.
0.
Yep. 38 goes into 66. Just once. 66 minus 38. 28. Bring down my 5. 38 into 285.
So,
7. 7 times 8 is 56. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 5 would be 26. And so when I subtract, I get 19. What do here? You had 285 and 266, right? So here you end up having to borrow, because you can't take 6 away from 5. That makes that a 7, and that's a 15. And then we have to keep going, so we add a 0 and say 38 goes into 190. Five times. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 4 is 19. And hey, I finally got my remainder of 0. So I get 0.175 for my answer.